At Four Seasons Shoes, we've created a website and a system to go with that in order to meet business requirements. Now, our mission, this consists of striving to provide a centralised location for young Australians to purchase weather-resistant white shoes. Now, our vision, this consists of quality management, time to market, business and IT alignment, customer satisfaction, and costs. So looking into this, quality management would consist of maintaining high quality data and trying to ensure some consistency. An example of an imperative would be timely data. An implication of this would be to ensure data is up to date. And the enabler for this would be to use a real-time database. Moving on, we would want to decrease shipping time as an imperative. The implication of this would be to establish a strong relationship or collaboration with the delivery system. And then the enabler for this would be integration software with the delivery system. Moving on again, we would want to be able to continually grow as a business. This would be the imperative. And the implication, IT would be capable of helping the business handle a larger capacity of orders. And to enable this, we would need a larger storage capacity. The imperative here would be to decrease errors in the ordering process for customer satisfaction, and implication would be to provide accurate product information, enabling this through automation. For cost, we would want a larger turnover of inventory. This would imply that information will be available about inventory in real time, and we can enable this through a notification or alert system, just integrating the inventory system. Now, for the information system strategy matrix, some of the hardware would be mainframe computers, servers, and laptops. We want all of these to provide a baseline so we can use our software. Our software, some examples would be databases, Office Suite, customer relationship management, integration software, and communication software. Now, the last two that I've mentioned could be interlinked with the other software to ensure a more congruent kind of system. In networking, we want to establish that intranet is different to internet. So for our private kind of databases, things that we want only our managers to access to or our website maintenance people to access, we would have that on the intranet, whereas general data about the website and the likes would be provided on internet services through Wi-Fi satellite. Now for the next one, we're going to be looking at data. So here it's similar. So we want our confidential data to be stored in different location to our general data. So some of the things we want to do is make sure that all employees are able to update data. Other managers can repurpose data as they see fit. Platform engineers can utilize data for updating, integrating software, and general data is just located and stored on the website and the web server. Now moving on to Porter's 5 competitive forces, the threat of new entrants, the threat of substitute products, and the threat of industrial competitors. Now, our approach to that would be to create a loyalty program through customer relationship management software, using our real-time databases to actually analyze and customer profile them in order to tailor their needs, providing a unique selling point and showing why they should pick us instead of other companies so that we have an advantage over them. Now, bargaining power buyers is similar, and one way we can achieve this is end-to-end connectivity or through a loyalty scheme, as mentioned before. However, for the bargaining power suppliers, in order to combat that, we might need to reduce intermediaries through things such as social media, supply chain management, or integration software, for example. Moving on to the value chain, what we want to do for primary activities, some examples of primary activities including quality control measures, preparation of shoes, customer targeting, and warranty or guarantees. So they're kind of the primary activities. Now, they by themselves aren't able to produce as much value, and this is why we need our support activities. And some of these examples would be website testing. Now, website testing would be able to enforce this primary activity of quality control measures, as we can ensure accurate and timely data through website testing. For warranties or guarantees, a support activity would be product testing. So if we test our products, we won't need to have as many warranties or guarantees. And HR is staff that will support things such as packaging and dispatching of shoes. And data warehouses, customer profiling, and research and development will be able to help out with our customer targeting for social media campaigns. Moving on now, we're going to wrap it up with resource-based view. And there's a difference between attaining competitive advantage and sustaining competitive advantage. So competitive advantage would be communicating our unique selling point, showing that we're different to others. For example, having a high quality system, we can save costs so that we can offer cheaper prices with our shoes. However, in order to sustain competitive advantage, we might want to build a long-term relationship with customers through customer relationship management software. We'd want to have an agile system so that we can adapt to market changes in the long run. Now, I'm going to pass you over to Nelson.
Thanks, Pete. So our group identified 5 business processes which would take you through the customer journey. So the first would be customer sign-up, where the user inputs fields such as age, gender, and contact details. And then they would move on to the login stage, where those fields inputted would be username, password, and they also have a verification process. And then this moves on to where they add a product to their cart, such as the white shoes that they would like to buy. And then they would move on to the checkout process following that, which confirms their order and also confirms things such as the shipping details and gets them to input their credit card. And all these details are stored as a transaction log. And ultimately, in the 5th step, the confirmation will be sent through them by an email. So we outlined this through a swim lane diagram. At the start, the customer would begin the checkout process, and they would get a website interface which gets returned from the web server. Moving on from this would be the checkout application, which checks whether or not the user is logged in as a guest or a member. And depending on this outcome, it would either autofill the information or they would have to manually input this. So they would contact external organizations afterwards, and then that would be returned with the delivery details and also the transaction details for digital payments. And all this information gets stored together as a transaction log and then gets collected in the database, which then gets displayed back to the customer and then sent as a confirmation email to them. So we outlined this also through an Archimate model. At the start in the technology layer would be the web server, which then passes on to the website, which is in the application layer. And within this would also be the customer checkout. And that determines whether or not the customer is a guest or a member, which we previously mentioned in the swim lane diagram. And then following from this step would move on back to the tech layer onto the checkout system. And so here, the delivery estimation system would contact the external organization, which is part of the business layer. And similarly with the payment system, also with the external digital payment organization. And then that is an associated relationship, which then would flow on to the transactions database. And that would store all the artifacts together, such as transaction logs, order details, and customer details. And that would conclude the checkout process step. So for our data strategy, we identified different types of data for our organization. So unstructured data would be such as videos and images, things which cannot be stored in a relational database. And these were to be managed through training the staff to always be able to generate weekly reports and store all the information regarding this data and to be able to document and learn from it. With the structured data, some of what we identified was items such as order details, date of order, item description, and product categories. These were all information which could be stored in a relational database. And some of the ways to manage this would be through having database warehouses where queries can be searched by different departments within our company. And then for external data, this was data which was gathered from external systems and sensory data. And this was through, or some examples would include credit card details and also delivery and logistics information from partnered organizations. And to manage this external data, it will be through maintaining good relationships with those external organizations so that all the data would always be readily available, such as logistics information with our contractors. And finally, with data delivery, this was including data which, the process which the data will be delivered through our organization. And some of the examples with that would be reports and dashboards, such as performance metrics of the website, with the example of loading times and bounce rates and click-through rates of our product information. And then to manage this type of data delivery, we would have continual management through our website. And so all this data will be continually aligned and consistent in all systems, so it's very accurate and flowing. So following on from this, I'll pass it on to Injin.
All right, so I'm just going to be going through our web strategy. So for goals, our goals mainly revolve around two of our objectives, and those are achieving high customer satisfaction and also achieving business IT alignment. So through our website, we aim to achieve high customer satisfaction by providing a platform that links our customer base to our line of pre-treated white shoes and care products. And we want to do this with a simple, easy to use interface and also having a carefully designed, personalized experience. We also want to do this by providing immersive and attentive customer support during the process. So that's before, during, and after the use of our services. And for our second goal of achieving business IT alignment, we really want to focus on reducing errors with the information that customers input, and also by allowing the business to continually grow by acquiring and retaining customers through our website. So our target audience is mainly between the ages of 14 and 25, and they have the goal of buying white shoes and maintaining them quickly, easily, and at a reasonable price point. So their pain points around the amount of time it takes to find the right products and also being able to find them in one place. So for our web design, we want to meet three key criteria. So there's a usability, accessibility, and just the overall aesthetics as well. So for usability, we built in structural firmness, functional convenience, and also just aesthetics. And based on our assumptions, we've integrated visuals, audios, and text to accompany all of the media. So that way it caters to everyone and makes it more accessible, but also made sure it is adjustable in screen size based on our assumption that people are using different devices. As far as hosting is concerned, we will be hosting it on our own server and using our own domain name. For electronic payment systems, so we will be partnering with different payment platforms and they will be processing all of our payments. So these include MasterCard, Visa, American Express, and also online platforms such as PayPal. So for our web strategy, based on our customer goals, as seen in the user persona on the right, so that's Tom, we need to implement a couple of features. So we need to implement a component that allows customers to select a set number of products and be able to compare them. We also need to ensure that prices and features can be seen easily for customer convenience as well. And customers also want to be able to track products that they bought. So we want to implement a tracking window and a broad delivery estimation chart in our FAQ section. We also intend to collaborate with external shipping partners to complete this. We've also created a wish list to come up with creative solutions to our user pains, and this includes a quiz that will be shown in the website. And we're just going to quickly go through our website. So up top, this is the quiz that was part of our wish list, and it's part of the personalized experience, so people can go through some of the questions here. Scroll a little bit further down, and the recommendation will be based on the outcome of the quiz, so it'll be different for every customer. Over here, contact information, so that we're easily accessible to everyone. Members will have the option to log in, shop, and then also a little blog. All right, so in our web accessibility evaluation, we had two key fail items. So one is in level A and one in level AA. So in level A, we lost a mark in being operable because one of our elements was missing an associated label. So that just prevents our website from working at its optimum. In level AA, a mark was lost under the perceivable item as one element had empty text. So that just means in some cases, users may have a hard time inputting information, and that could potentially lead to mistakes. So just in conclusion, we made a website that caters to our customers and our business objectives of business IT alignment, and also just customer satisfaction. And it also fulfills our mission as an emerging footwear provider. We've created a place for young Australians to buy weather-resistant white shoes, care products, and have the support and experience that caters to them.